Hey everyone, Rick with Rick's 1/35 scale models with another project. So what I'm going to be doing this time is continuing with my doing camouflage netting on vehicles. Now I've done these videos and kind of shown you can use your gauze or surgical bandaging to do the netting part here, and then adding pieces of cloth and or paper towels painted to create this kind of a look. You can also do different live foliage type products to create this look, similar, adding the gauze. And then here's doing the gauze and then taking small bits of paper and having painted them, gluing them on slowly but surely to create this look. And then this last one, which would be the same as this vehicle, but just making more of the greens in that. What I'm going to do this time is take a Ming Leopard 2A7 here, and I'm going to first weather it, giving it a lot more of a grubby, muddy look, always kind of terrifying, because you're adding a lot of things and covering up a lot of the details of the model. But I'm looking for, you know, like I said, it's in the field, it's all muddy and dirty and gone through puddles and all that, kind of the aspect of that, building up the mud and the fenders, kind of how you would see. And then I'm going to use a little bit of a different product this time. This will be this AK netting. Now this stuff is pricey, but you get a pretty decent sized sheet, and it looks really nice. So I think the quality of it outweighs the cost. There's a couple other products out there similar to this, but this is the one that I'm going to be using for this model, and then draping it on the vehicle, such as the Bundeswehr does on their vehicles. So let's get started first with the weathering. After that, we're going to add the netting and then finish the whole thing up. So here we go. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is use these enamel products to create some of a wash in different areas. And then from there, I'm going to use these chalks and use some clean thinner and then create kind of a mudded up look here. So let's get started. Okay, so the next stage will be taking some of the chalk here and caking it up along the back fenders in this area to create the look of mud. So what you want to do is just lightly get the tip in here, just a little moisture on there, and just kind of dab it off. And then you're just going to lightly touch in here, and you'll see you'll kind of get a flake. And then you're going to just kind of brush it on the edges like this. And you see how it kind of rolls up there and creates that muddy look. Once again, just lightly dab, and then just gently touch in there, put a little bit on the end, and then brush your mud on. Now this is one of those layered, delicate steps, and if you don't push down hard and they're real delicate, you can actually create that muddy look of the mud caked on. And then around the back where the bogey wheels are, you'll see lots of mud. So I'm going to make sure that on the inside here, I really cake it on and make sure it's real evident, because that's when you'll get a lot of mud buildup. Now, one of the things you'll notice a lot of the Germans do is they'll take these off in the heavy mud because they'll just get buildup, and then they'll flip these armor plates up to kind of help deter some of this mud buildup that'll end up causing a fouling of the tracks. So I've completed the wash, which was real subtle, and then used the chalks. And now what I'm going to do is seal it all with some Tamiya flat clear. Now the idea here is to seal all this in, and then that'll kind of bond these little areas here a little better, even though they're pretty good now. It'll make sure they're good and stuck on there. And then from there, I'm going to finish the rest of the detailing. The next stage I'm going to do is take a little bit of buff from Tamiya, and this is a flat acrylic. I'm just going to take and put a couple of drops and then put substantially more thinner in there to make just a really light highlight, and then I'm going to spray it to create kind of a dusty look to kind of blend in everything else. This is just a little bit of a wash, and then I'll put it in the airbrush and then lightly highlight the vehicle. Okay, so now I've got the vehicle weathered and prepared. The next stage will be adding the camouflage netting. So what I'm going to do is prepare that, but real quick, most of the front of the vehicle, along the lower glacis plate area, the turret, and then along in here with the smoke charge exposed, but I'll have some netting up along here in this area, over here covering this, and then along the barrel, and then drape down the sides a little bit down in here, and as they kind of tie it up along these different points. So you have to look at where are points that you could secure it so that it looks natural, not just glued on. And you've obviously got some handles here, some different points. They can wrap, tie down yarn or thread, different materials, sometimes maybe baling wire. But you have to look at where they would actually attach things to the vehicle that's secured, but yet it's not going to interfere with the performance of the vehicle. Along those lines, and you can't obscure the sighting system or any of the observation points. So let's go on to the next part of the process. So let's take a look at the final result. Here's the Leopard 2A7 in a mean 1/35 scale, which has been deployed. I've got mud buildup in the lower parts of the tracks, the bogie wheels, along the side protective plating here. A little bit of dust on the side, a little bit of just road wear, nothing major. But then I went and added the AK netting, which definitely broke it up and made it a lot more realistic looking. I also added some strips of paper that were painted to simulate the cloth that they would tie randomly around to just break up the silhouette a little more. The other thing you will see real common is they'll add live foliage into this. I didn't go about that. This is the look I was looking for, which is real common. Also, if you look at all the vehicles deployed, one of the things you'll notice is this stuff's torn up really bad. So, you know, as I'm using the product, parts are tearing. Well, that makes it look even more accurate. I've got the commander's sight all with the camo netting on that. I've also added some equipment back here. These are both resin parts from Value Gear. As I showed in the video, putting on the mud really works out really well, which I'm caking it on in the back, rear end fenders. I'm going to add some pictures at the end of the video of a little more detail up close, kind of get an idea. But once again, I'm really happy with the results of this. As I said before, it's a little on the pricey side buying the product, but you get some amazing results. So I mean, the results speak for themselves. You can't sit there and argue about price versus quality. I mean, it makes the model definitely jump out. So anyway, this will be my review. The overall product itself, AK, I'm real happy with it. There's two other products out there I haven't tried yet. One's a PE sheet, which is metal for this same camouflage type netting, and then there's the ARV Club has another product of netting that I haven't found yet that I'm going to try next. But I like it. I'm real happy with it. I have about a quarter of a sheet left. One of the things I did learn, and kind of in the video I want to make sure I show, is as you're doing this, kind of pull the product gently with the grain. You'll see if you pull it one way, it doesn't really want to give, it'll just tear. But if you pull this way, you can actually stretch it and kind of unfold. But it's just a very delicate, slow process. And then when you glue it, you want to kind of pull it tight and lay it on the model and just kind of work it to get all the frays out and get the really get the texture of the netting to show up. It's one of those, play with it, you'll be real happy with the results. Just take your time, and it'll definitely make your model tenfold better. Anyway, that's my review. Next video coming out soon. Please like and subscribe. Take care. Any questions, comments, please feel free to ask. And watch me on my Facebook page, or you can email me. Everybody take care, happy modeling, and see you on the next one. Bye-bye.